Hi, this is Sanjay Deshpande, and welcome to one more session of Jungle Bell's wonderful initiative towards wildlife conservation. This episode is specifically in the honor of doctors, that to lady doctors, as Jungle Bell works exclusively for women to make them exposed to wildlife conservation and nature conservation in general. See, any of these four ladies, Dr. Kelkar and Dr. Karmarkar, Dr. Lavate, Sheetal Mahajan couldn't join it. And fifth is wonderful, another doctor, Dr. Manisha Sonone. They all are doing in their, they may not be famous photographer, they may not be knowing photography as such or wildlife expert, but they is not expected to. All they do is we all know how difficult the medical profession is, demanding medical profession is, and these ladies keep on doing their bit towards nature, handling their medical profession, their patients, their families, and everything responsibility comes, every responsibility which comes to their way, and yet they find time for nature. That is incredible. This is what we have to send a message via Jungle Bell, that ladies, it is possible for you to make time for yourself and for nature. Get inspired, share it, and inspire others also. Thank you very much. Team Sanjeevani is always proud to be associated with Jungle Bells, which is Hemangi Vartak, Aarti Karve, and Anuj Khare, their support role as well. Nature and wildlife conservation. Thank you very much. Go ahead, watch again, and it's a tribute to every doctor, doctor woman also, doctor ladies and doctors who do such a noble thing for society and nature. Happy Doctors Day. Keep exposing nature and keep saving it and keep conserving it. Thank you.
A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to yet another Zoom call organized by Jungle Bells. Jungle Bells is an exclusive women's wildlife group. We are into wildlife related activities, conservation, and wildlife tours. Before we begin, I would request you to keep yourselves on mute other than the guests and the videos also. Kindly please switch it off. If you have any questions for the guest, please type them in the chat box and we will address them after their talk. Also, if you want to receive any further communication about our events, please type in your email addresses and phone numbers in the chat box. Regarding today's guests of webinar, I will hand it over to Aarti to introduce them. Aarti.
Good morning to all our viewers. We have three lady doctors with us today on the occasion of Doctors' Day, which is on July 1st. And we are going to chat with these ladies about their interest in nature. They're all nature enthusiasts, wildlife enthusiasts. And so we are just going to have an informal chat with them about how they started, how their liking grew for nature and how they find time out of their busy schedules to pursue this interest. So our first guest that I'll introduce is Dr. Anjali Kerkar. She is a laboratory director at Ruby Hall Clinic, diagnostic hematologist, NABL and NABH assessor. She has previously worked with KM Hospital, Sahyadri Hospital, and Bharati Vidyapeeth. She has attended trainings at CMC Vellore, Royal Free Hospital, in London, UK. Tema Fellowship in Medical Education. Her personal interests include music, nature, reading, fitness, and she has traveled a lot within and outside the country. She has one son, Nachiket, who has studied political science. Our next guest is Dr. Sumedha Karmarkar. She is a practicing gynecologist from Ratnagiri. She's graduated from JJ Hospital, Mumbai, and she is in a very stressful profession, and so nature is what suits her and is her outlet. She loves to travel to jungles, and birding is a hobby of hers as well. And along with birding, gardening, reading, music, photography, trekking in the Himalayas are some of her other passions. She has two children, a son, Advaitin, who's in the 12th grade, and a daughter, Rucha, who's in the 10th grade. And our third guest is Mrs. Chitra Lavade. She's an eminent pathologist in Pune. She has taught in the Pune University and was awarded the gold medal for MD pathology in December 1989. She has a thesis for MD mucosal biopsy as a diagnostic aid in bowel disease. It was the first thesis on GI mucosal biopsies from BJMC and was specially appreciated by the examiners. After 3 years of lectureship in BJMC, she worked as a consultant pathologist in a couple of hospitals. She was invited as a guest speaker in Kokilaben Hospital in Mumbai to speak on pathologists to the rescue of the physicians with reference to some challenging clinical cases. Chitra ma'am has also received the Women Achievers Award of MES on World Women's Day in 2013. She's currently running a pathology clinic, own histopathology and clinical pathology laboratory in Pune. Her elder daughter is a practicing architect and interior designer, and her son is currently studying MBBS in Oxford Brookes University in London for masters in applied human nutrition. Her husband, Dr. Parimal Lavate, is a senior most gastroenterologist and hepatologist in Pune. So we welcome all three of you on our platform, and thank you so much for agreeing to take time out of your busy schedules and be with us here today.
Yeah.
I think we'll sort of begin with a informal question answer session, which Hemangi will address the first question.
Yes. So, since we're talking about nature and wildlife, let's take up a very general and common question. What does nature or wildlife mean to you? So, for each one, it might be really different. So, we'll start with Anjali ma'am. So, what does this mean to you?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity today. Yeah, so we basically any human is a nature lover. That is my firm belief. It may have happened over the period of time that we started thinking that we are above the nature and we don't consider ourselves as part of the nature. So that is one of the things I actually came across very strongly when I traveled and when I experienced throughout my wildlife camps experiences and so on and so forth, that we are actually part of the nature. And if you love yourself, you will love the nature. And this actually means wildlife and nature to me, be it experiences of daily outings at Vetal Tekdi, or be it the excursions like places at Dandeli or many other places. Being one with nature is something which gives you the calmness and peace of mind that is required for the stressful life we all lead.
That's wonderful, Anjali ma'am. It's great to know, in spite of your profession, as we always say, you find time for all this. I'm sure everyone else also agrees on this forum today. Let's move on to Sumedha ma'am. So, same question. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, I think nature means everything to me. Rather, I would say I am a gynecologist, so as you know, it's a very stressful profession. Whole time, 24 hours, I am committed to my profession. But 10 years back, when I first went to Bandhavgarh, I realized what nature was. Till then, I was busy with my studies. My children were very small. But after I did my first Bandhavgarh excursion, that was an eye opener for me, I can say. Till then, I was not really into these. I was like any other person who will not really matter, nature won't matter. But after that, last 10 years, I think I have been into nature all the time. Whenever I get time, whenever I have even little window of 1 day or 2 days, I go to nature. So nature means everything to me. You can say that. It soothes me. It just outside chaotic, such a horrible world, but inside I'm calm only because of this nature connection what I have.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Let's move with the same question to Chitra ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Let me first thanks Mr. Sanjay Deshpande and the team of Jungle Village for inviting me on this forum, and I'm really going to enjoy it. So, nature is actually eye-pleasing greenery and with its fauna and flora to me, and being with the nature makes me feel totally relaxed, happy, and peaceful. And I totally agree with Dr. Sumedha and what Dr. Anjali told. So I'm just winding up in these few lines about nature.
That's great. Yeah, we move to the next question. Aarti.
like all three of you rightly said, nature can mean different things to different people. Even tending your own garden in your backyard is, being one with nature, and it also gives a lot of peace to a lot of people. So, Chitra ma'am, we have heard that you have a real liking for gardening, and you have developed a plot with a lot of different trees and plants.
Yes.
So, we
Yeah.
would like to hear more about that.
Uh,
I'll share your PPT.
Yeah. Actually, my father was a doctor, but he was very much interested. He was a nature lover and he was very much interested in farming. In fact, he had done rice farming for quite some time, for quite a few years. And my mother used to do a lot of gardening in the backyard of our bungalow. And she used to grow many vegetables and fruits. But honestly speaking, at that particular time, I didn't take any part in doing gardening. I was totally away from it. I used to like what they used to do, and I used to enjoy observing all that. But I hadn't done anything. It is just 2 years ago, to be precise, in the month of June and 2019, I thought that I should develop gardening as a hobby, and we had a plot on the way to Panchit, and we had not done anything with that. So hello.
Yeah, you can talk, ma'am.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can keep talking.
So I thought of developing that plot, and so I just didn't know anything about gardening. I had no experience about gardening. But when I thought of developing that plot, one of my patient friend who is a professional gardener, I took her along, and we visited that site. And this was the uh, original picture of the plot, how it was in June 19. So we realized that we have to do a lot of work because there were levels, there were too many rocks, then there were too many unwanted trees and grass. So that grass had to be removed in the first place. Next slide, please. So this is another view of the same plot. So this is how the plot was originally. So we had to use take help of the JCB to remove all the unwanted trees, then remove the grass and do the leveling of the plot. So next slide, please. Then with the, I consulted with that friend of mine who is a professional gardener, and she inspected the quality of the land, and then she decided which plants we should I was much interested in actually planting fruit bearing plants. So she selected a few. So I went with her, and from agricultural college and from a nursery in Kamchit, we selected the saplings. So here you can see the what is called as karvanda or Christ thorns. Next, please. So how these plants were initially. This is covered or wood apple. Next, please. And these are another plants. This picture was taken much later, actually. It is after about 6 months. So this is Ramphal, Tutti or mulberry. And this is furnace or jackfruit. Next, please. The saplings were much smaller previously. This is sitafal, custard apple, daim, pomegranate. Next, please. This is a banana sapling. Next, please. This is breadfruit plant, or which is also called as neer furnace. Next, please. Next, please. This is passion fruit. This is the climber of the passion fruit. Next, please.
Wow.
Then we planted this Indian gooseberry and cherry. So these pictures were also taken a little later because those saplings were very small. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah, this is star fruit and this is guava. Next, please. This is again a banana sapling. Next, please. Next, please.
I think
This
I
is
have the-
lychee, and this is jambu. So actually, we took a mix of routine plants, routine fruits, as well as a little exotic fruits. I was a little worried whether they will grow in that particular soil or not. But she being a professional gardener, she said ki those will definitely grow. And this is again a bale, covert, and pumpkin. These are again the saplings which are grown initially in buckets. Next, please. Next, please. This is again a Tetu plant. My son insisted on planting this, so I didn't even know about this tree, but he said that each and every part of it can be used. So we went on to purchase this and planted this. Next, please. So that was the initial look of those saplings, and now we finished the planting in around January 20, and after that the lockdown started. But I used to visit the place once in a week initially, then once in a fortnight later, and then once in a month later, and now this is how the sapling. This is how the plants are right now. This is Indian gooseberry. This is grown quite well. Next, please. This is another cherry plant. Next, please. Next, please. This is papaya. It gave a lot of papayas actually. This was taken somewhere in August 20. Next, please. And this is the current appearance of the plant. Next, please. This is a lemon. So it is lemon is showing fruiting, cherry is showing fruiting, then mulberry is showing fruiting, then flowering is seen in pomegranate. This is again lemon. Next, please. This is flowering of pomegranate. Next, please. Next, please. This is jackfruit which has grown up. Next, please. This is guava which has shown flowering. Next, please. And this is cherry plant, and this is grown very well. Now the next slide, please, which is a close-up. So I've just put some arrowheads so that you can see there are many cherries which are seen. They're raw right now. Next, please. And I was quite thrilled to see this. This is a tutti or mulberry. And this is the only one I could, this is the only close-up I could get. So this is how the plants are right now. And it really makes me feel very happy to see how these plants have grown and they're flowering and they're showing fruiting. So it's a very enriching experience. Next, please. Yeah. And during the lockdown, my visits to that particular plot have reduced quite a lot. So I tried my hands on doing some sort of kitchen gardening or a little bit of gardening in the balcony. So this is my attempt at cultivating mushrooms. These are oyster mushrooms, but this is done on a very small scale. So next, please.
I think that.
Yeah. So this is how my journey of gardening has gone on my plot right now.
That is wonderful. I'm sure it's very satisfying, like you said, to see the fruits and, I'm sure you want to visit more often, but I think.
Yes. I know right now, but now I'm having a sort of remote control. So that he shows the watchman over there, he sends me WhatsApp pictures of those plants. So his daughter helps him to send those pictures. And so that's how I control it remotely.
Okay.
I hope to visit more often.
I'm sure you get a lot of birds also, ma'am, right? Because
Yes,
of all
yes.
the shooting, and yeah, it'll be
True,
interesting
true.
to visit
Yeah.
for bird sighting as well.
Yeah, yeah. Very true. We have to see, we have a community hall over there, which is built up over there. So we can stay overnight also. But we
Okay.
rarely get a chance to go there to stay overnight.
Right. We'll come back to you, ma'am, for your wildlife journey.
Yes.
We will now ask Anjali ma'am to share her experiences of her travels. I know she has also traveled a lot, and she can maybe share her experiences and photographs.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I'll share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Right. So,
Maybe you need to do yeah. Perfect.
yeah, so, I wanted to share my little different experiences at this botanical garden. These are the Royal Botanical Gardens at southwest of London. Most of us, I'm sure we have heard about the Kew Gardens. This is a small town of Kew at the southwest, in the southwest area of London. And the people over there, they started, these maintaining all the trees and beautiful species and everything like that. And it started somewhere around 1840 there. And then it was taken up by the Royal Society, and it is now one of the World Heritage Sites. So botanical gardens are another way, to study and explore nature, because these are the kind of, one of the kind of places wherein there are lots of uh, what you can say local species as well as exotic species are um, maintained, and they are nurtured, and we can go there and study them. Now this is like, as I was saying, this is one of the largest of the botanical gardens. There are other gardens, some wherein Singapore is one of the huge botanical gardens which is maintained. This Kew Gardens also has a herbarium. That means whatever new species is to be registered, it has to be registered with the Kew Gardens first, and then it is like officially registered. So this is one of the experiences I wanted to share. And second one, of course, it has become love of our life, that is scuba, underwater diving. Both me and my husband, we are certified underwater scuba open water divers. And we started, and we had almost started becoming regular also when the lockdown started. And our plans are unfortunately right now on hold, but we will resume them like soon. So let me just start with Kew Gardens, a little bit of information, not this thing, but this is what I was trying to say, that this is the kind of different species of plants and flowering plants and all sorts of other temperate and tropical plants which are maintained at this botanical garden of Kew. And you can see there is, I mean, you can spend 1 or 2 days at least if you really want to have a tour of the garden. They will give you all the information, about the world that we live in. I'm just putting a slide from the Himalayas, where in the species from our own country are all documented and preserved at Kew Gardens. This is one of the aerial views of the, see, this is the herbarium, and these are the different domes wherein they maintain those conditions for the particular plants, and accordingly they are nurtured. So again, this is one of the, this is for the tropical plants. A beautiful area and beautiful gardens, and there is as I said, there is too much to see. So if you are truly a wildlife lover, and what, photographer any which way, you can enjoy this is like being in the sea. You can be at the bay and still enjoy the beauty of it, or you can go to the depths and study the most loved areas that you feel like. So, you know, these are some of the plants from, this is one from Africa. This is another plant from tropical. I unfortunately don't have the, I mean, I thought there is not so much of time to go into the depths of information on all the plants. I just wanted to give a glimpse to our especially young crowd who would want to go and explore nature in this manner also. So just a glimpse of the various plants maintained. And as I was saying, there is a lot of information. So this is like Makkah or Pandhari to the botanists and plant lovers. We again, both me and my husband, we did a botany course also with Dr. Mahajan sir, and we were very inspired when we visited Kew Gardens. I happened to visit it twice. One was much earlier when I was not so much aware about all the information it was actually harboring, but the later visit, it enriched us like a lot. So again, now with that, I would just quickly share some information about the diving. And nature is not only in jungles, it is also underwater, it is also at the snowy peak mountains, and it's all over. So this is something which is not a very easy thing to do, that I can say, that if you really want to become a diver, you have to undergo this course, which is the certificate course. And these dive masters, they take this course extremely seriously, because once you are issued this certificate that you are a scuba diver or open water diver, then your, I mean, your life is actually their responsibility, because whatever goes on your certificate, that also includes your dive master's number and certificate details. So they take it extremely seriously. This is Netrani, which is in Karnataka. This is where we started. We have obtained our open water certification. So this is the first photos, initial days photos. And of course, this is Lakshadweep. We, I mean, I can't describe it enough. I can't describe the beauty of it enough. And visiting island is one thing, and being able to do snorkeling and scuba at Lakshadweep is a totally different experience. Now these are 36 islands. They are a group of 36 islands, and about 10 of them are, you know, populated. So where we went was Kadmat Island, which you travel from Kochi, you travel and then you travel in a boat and then you reach there. It's a narrow strip of islands. So you can see sunset on one side and I mean sunrise on one side and the sunset on the other side. It is that narrow. From your cottage, you can see that. So once you reach there, I mean, you are that oneness and that beauty of nature, you really don't have to take any efforts. You just, you know, land yourself there and then you just do it. Okay, so this photograph, you can see a sea turtle, and this is the position you know take as scuba diver. As I was saying, this is attainable. It's not that it's, of course, I mean, so many people do it, but then this is something that you do with practice. And I must say, it also gives you a lot of calmness and lot of I think Sumedha was saying about stress buster. So this is one of the biggest stress busters. And we initially had watched, I mean, before entering into scuba, we had watched, of course, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. And I can only say that it's very different from what they have shown in the movie. It's a very planned activity. It's not that you just, you know, go below the water, underwater, and you start, you know, going around as you feel. It's not like that. You have a dive master, you have the areas defined, you have the map defined. It's very much like a jungle safari, and it can sometimes be quite risky out there. So this is me. I'm very happy to show you this photograph, because this is one of the ways, I mean, this is the one of the perfect ways to dive. You cannot be upright and you cannot be angulated and all that. And then of course you can see people observe the I'll just show you some of the photographs. So this is the way you observe the, I can't make this big, but there are very many tiny small fishes out there, and I'll show you some more photos. Yeah, so you are diving and you are in their world, so they are just swimming around, and you get mesmerized by their uh, sudden appearances and the way they swim and the beauty of the nature. I hope you appreciate a little blue, dark, small two fishes here.
Yes.
And and these are the evenings, and so in the day you would typically have 2 dives or sometimes 3 dives also, and then you come out, and then these are not any special photographs. This is how it is. These are just from my simple camera or probably iPhone photos also. So you just don't need a lot of photography skills to show beautiful photographs from the nature out there. And then the last part of this little presentation is the scuba experience at the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, where we could visit in 2019. So you approach the reefs. So reef is something which is it's a wall. So Great Barrier Reef, it stretches across many kilometers of areas, and this is how you see the reef from the air. And then you go there, you land there. So this is Australia, where you start for the your journey to reef. And this is the catamaran boat which took us to the reef. So we found this boat when we landed there in Cairns. We found this, we went across and found out our boat. We were very happy and excited to find it. And then they would take you, you have to travel a little bit inside the sea, of course. And then there are safe areas where you can go and do the snorkel and scuba. So this is a photograph of snorkeling, and some areas at the reef are not very deep. You can see the background, the shallow areas, and with the snorkeling also you can enjoy a lot of that beauty, underwater beautiful nature. So, and then we actually did the scuba also there. This is how you go. And there was a short clip of me diving in the sea, but unfortunately it's not included here, but it's okay. This is the way, again, you can see the beautiful reef and the marine life there. These are all the corals and the various different kinds of fish out there. As I was saying, you are in their area, so they would just suddenly, start appearing around you. This fish was actually it. This was coming to me, and I just managed to take a photo. And they are also very curious. They are also very curious that as we are curious about them. So it's a very different kind of experience out there. Yeah, again. So this is something we really loved. And as I was saying, this is another kind of experience wherein there is total silence apart from, and you are focusing on your breath so much. Only principle about diving is breathe in and breathe out. So you can't think about anything, to be very honest. And then suddenly there is a beautiful view around you. I wish I could have included more photographs, but of course, for the want of time. And this is one of the other ones. Right. Yeah, this beauty was also, this fish was also swimming, with us. So finally we could get one photo of that. These are the corals, you can see the tips which they kind of illuminate in dark. Yeah. So again, some of the corals and fish. Yeah, very many different kinds of corals out there. And as I said, if we are student of that particular subject, then we get benefited a lot more by studying these places. So this is a very short video clip I'll show you. I'll just tell you what it is. These are the whales which migrate from the south pole almost to the northern side near Africa, and they travel by this. This is a Manly Beach, which is close to Sydney. So they travel and they have to, some at intervals they would come above the water and make a kind of jump. So I'll just show you this. We were very fortunate to get this in action. I hope it plays. Yeah. Yeah, right. So what happened, our guide was telling us that they have the telltale signs like we have, I mean, again, jungle safaris, and we know where the leopard would be sighted and where the tiger would be, and how and where to look for. So these guides, they know according to the behavior that when they will surface and they would make a jump. Sorry, so this is one of the photographs from the guide, their official site. So they have huge cameras. We were very lucky that our camera was totally on at that time. This is a small clip which I showed you, and we were waiting for that whale to come up. So with that, I'm very happy. I'm really very thankful and happy, because this took us to many memories. It took me down the memory lane, and it was a very enjoyable experience for me as well. So thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Anjali ma'am, for sharing your experiences. And like you rightly mentioned, nature is, different forms of nature, and underwater there's so much life. So that is also like a forest. I mean, it's an underwater forest.
Yes. So have I stopped the sharing, or do I have to do something about it? Yeah, stop share. I did.
Okay.
Thanks.
We'll move on to Sumera ma'am now. She lives in Ratnagiri and practices over there. And so she's basically just surrounded by nature all around. So, ma'am, we have a PPT from you as well. So I'll play that. And I know you mentioned something about, taking time for yourself daily, at least, for an hour in the morning. So we would like to hear about that as well.
Hi. Actually, I'm a person who stays in Ratnagiri. Ratnagiri belongs to Konkan region, as you all know. We are actually surrounded by nature. There is abundant nature around us. We don't have to really go far away from home to go into the nature. So it's really a blessing to be here in Ratnagiri. And especially during monsoons, the nature is really like, it's like heaven around us. So normally, since I stay in Ratnagiri, it's 2 or 3 kilometers from my house, and you are into nature.
Right.
I can't see the pictures there. Yeah. So this is my normal, regular walk, everyday walk. This is only for 4 kilometers away from my home. Every morning around 7:30, we go out for this trail. This is a 4 to 5 kilometers trail that we go out. And there are so many birds, on at least 25 to 30 species of different birds. They're chirping. This stream is there. Normally, this is during monsoon, so it's looking really beautiful. Otherwise, after December, it dries up. But this part of time is really beautiful over here. And there are many birds. There are many, of course, there are farms also. Right? Paddy fields are there. So it's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful journey of this wonderful place called Ratnagiri. And one more second slide, please. This is just around, I think, few kilometers from my place, 20 kilometers away from my place. This is a ghat called as Nani's Ghat, which is a beautiful ghat again. We normally go for, since I practice gynecology, I don't get much time to travel abroad or travel far distances. I don't think I have included my slides of different journeys, but these are only my mobile photos from outskirts of Ratnagiri. They are beautiful places. And as you said, we nurture life and nurture nature, but I would rather say we nurture, nature nurtures us rather than we nurturing nature. And next slide, please. I don't, these are my beautiful friends in the morning, every day morning, my breakfast and my tea is with them. My day doesn't begin unless I see them. Next, please. These are the bulbuls. This is very near, a few kilometers, 20 kilometers away from my place. There is a small stream there, paddy fields there called Loteshwar Mandir. I have a small trail is there. And next, please. Yeah, this is all near Ratnagiri place taken from my mobile, but not really a presentation, I can call them. But still, next, please. This also is my routine everyday walk, there is an Adishti temple there and a small stream there, river there. There are also leopards there. Thankfully, I haven't encountered any in my walk, but otherwise leopards are seen almost once in a week on this trail. Next, please. Yeah, this is a beach very near to my house, 3 kilometers from my place, Bhatia Beach. You need to be really lucky to have this kind of sky. Normally, by the end of winter or during February end, you get these skies, beautiful skies, so near to my house. Next, please. This is again my friend, very beautiful friend, white-throated kingfisher. Next, please. This same walk from my walk only. Next, please. Yeah, this is a very sweet and famous waterfall near our place. It's 20 kilometers from my place. It's called Ranpat waterfall. It's a beautiful, only during monsoons it is there, but still it's a very beautiful place. It's a small trail of around 20 minutes and then you reach this heavenly place. Next, please. These are again my friends. Next, please. Yeah, this is a Oriental magpie robin, which is seen from my window, which is heard from my window every day, morning, evening, every time. Next, please. Next, please. These are paddy fields. They are around October, September end, October, when they are near to cutting. It's a beautiful sight to see these fields. They are so soothing, beautiful ones. This is only my walk, everyday walk. I haven't included many pictures. This is a very typical Kokani village, you can call. This is still there around, say, 10-15 kilometers from here, and they are beautiful Kaularu Gharo, we call them, with these pofri trees and the coconut trees and the beautiful sky around. This is the normally what we see around us. Typical Kokani village. Next, please.
Right.
This is some random photo from a ghat, I think Katraj or something. Next, please. Yeah, this is a Loteshwar Mandir. This is near Ratnagiri, and this is the stream. And there is a single rock. On the single rock, they have built this beautiful small mandir. It's a very, very pretty sight.
Yeah.
Next, please. This again is another beach called Kasheli Beach. This is a newly they have developed this way, and this is a small beach there with beautiful sunsets. Next, please. This is, I think, yeah, this is Hemkund. I think this is from one of my treks. These are very random photos. I didn't know that there was a presentation, so I have just sent you the random photos. I really didn't know, so otherwise I could have managed them in a better way. But this is a Hemkund from Valley of Flowers. Yeah, I had gone for 2 years back. I had gone for this trek. Hemkund Sahib was a very, very satisfying experience because many of my friends couldn't make it to the top. I always thought that I was not a very fit person to make it to the top to Hemkund. But with a knee surgery done a year back, but I still could manage to reach the top. It was a happy heart and tired feet. Beautiful one. Beautiful spiritual experience this Hemkund is. Everyone should in fact visit once. Next, please. This is on the way to Hemkund only. Next, please. This is Valley of Flowers trek just 1 day prior to Hemkund. That rock there, you can see I had climbed that rock and sat there. That was one of the feel, on the top of the world experience. Beautiful experience. Next, please. This is how it is. This is how I live my life.
Have you done any other treks besides the?
Yeah, I've done many treks in Himalayas. I've done this Valley of Flowers. I have done this Hamta Pass. I have done
Okay.
Chopta. I have done Kedar Kanta. Very, very satisfying experiences. They are physically trying, but mentally they are so beautiful. Everyone should try. In fact, this was one of my bucket lists that I should trek the Himalayas at least once, but I could make it at least 4 to 5 times till now, and many more to come, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And as
That's great.
Anjali madam said, this scuba diving is into my bucket list. I hope I make it soon, very soon. Make it happen
Absolutely.
soon.
It's actually something
Yeah,
that even
I
yeah,
am so eager to do it. Let's see when I get a chance.
I know scuba diving is something even I have always
Yes,
wanted
yes.
to try.
Scuba
But
diving, trekking, these are birding and jungle safari. Jungle safari is I'm in love with. I have visited at least all Madhya Pradesh jungles, Kana, Pench, Tadoba, even Bandhavgarh, Nagzira. There are so many beautiful experiences to share. Seriously, I'm in love with the jungles. I have this. At least I've tried, to get this inside, outside, inside in my house. So from any window of my house, I see only green.
yeah,
That was my motto, to get green into the house. I could manage it now.
that's wonderful. And we are envious that you see so many birds around you. We have to go
many
specially,
25
to.
types. Yeah,
Lovely
many
birds.
types of chirping of birds. All that. The only voice you hear is chirping of birds and some monkeys around you, playing around you. That's it. That's my 1 hour in the morning, which gives me strength to go through this 23 other hours.
You're
So this was
really
very-
lucky to have such a wonderful surrounding.
Yes.
Wonderful
Well,
nature
I feel
around
myself
you.
really lucky to
Very,
be here.
very lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, Sumita, as you said, this 1 hour in the morning gives you the strength for rest of the 23
Seriously,
hours.
I mean,
Yeah, very
I
true.
completely agree with that. I completely agree with that.
even if I
Yeah.
am awake in the night, the whole night is fired, I still manage to go in the morning for 1 hour this trail.
So that really refuels you.
Creditable, very creditable. Yeah.
In fact, I am so much into jungles and jungle everything now. My children are so whenever I say of any holiday or let's plan a vacation, they say please no jungles, no birding, anything else. And I get suffocated in a 5-star environment, so I don't plan anything of that. So they get so
True,
irritated.
True.
You don't need to go to a bird park to see, because you're getting such lovely birds to see every
from
day.
my window, at least 15 types of species.
Yeah. I must share one experience here that our family, they all, my husband and my son both are really nature lovers. And from from our balcony, which is, we stay in Kothurud, Pune, and
Yeah.
we have one big Gulmohar tree outside and other trees. So my husband has at least noted 30 to 35 different
Wow.
species of bird, and he has documented. So next time, if these girls give us a chance, we will show the photographs of
Absolutely,
birds.
yeah.
Definitely. I would love to see.
It's a marvelous, what you can say. I will not say time pass. A stress relief or stress buster kind of a thing to watch the birds. Yeah.
I can
Right.
sit in my window for hours together. My children get so irritated because of this.
Even looking at the greenery makes you feel so relaxed and
Yes,
peaceful.
Chitra. Yeah,
And you
yeah.
must be
I really have this
experiencing
outside,
that
inside.
sitting at home.
Yeah. If you see my home, it's all green. Only color you see is green. That's it.
That's really nice.
Himangi, you want to do the next question?
Yes. So we take Chitra Man's wildlife photos later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
time permitting, I think. because-
Yes. Yeah. So there's another a common question to everyone. So, what are some of the hurdles you face in pursuing your liking for nature? How do you tackle those? So it's a very general question. You have the profession which is very demanding. You have a family at home, and then out of this, you have to take time out for yourself, because we are a women's group, and we have seen, Aarti and I have seen, there's like exotic reasons for not to do something rather than to do something. So so how would you address this? How do you address this, for that matter? So let's start with Chitra ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, generally I plan to go to, as I said, particularly that particular plot, it's always on some Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And generally, since beginning, when the children were in school, we made it a point to plan at least 2 trips every year, and say for 8 days or 15 days. So because my husband is also very busy, but we always made it a point to do 2 trips every year, and maybe a visit to a wildlife sanctuary or bird park, whatever. But if most of the states we have visited in India, just for trips, family trips, and some family trips outside India, and some of the outside India trips are because of conferences, but those also we could go for that. So that's how we have to take out time. We have to plan in advance, because if you want to take out 8 days or 15 days, definitely you have to plan it in advance. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's great. Yes, Sumedha ma'am, how do you handle? You said your children don't like. A lot of times they get
They do
irritated
like,
by the
because now
mention.
they have no choice now.
No
so
choice.
They
Okay.
do like it now.
Yes. So,
But
what is your
apart-
frequency? I mean, how many
See, I
vacations
really,
or
yeah, I used to plan at least 3 vacations in a year previously, but now since my children, one is in 12th now and other is in 10th. So these are 2 very demanding years, right? So right now, since last 2 years, because of COVID, there was no vacation. But apart from being a woman, I'm a gynecologist, a mother. So it is becomes very difficult to really go out. For a woman, for a man, it's very easy. Take a camera, निकल गए, कोई पूछेगा नहीं. लेकिन यहाँ पे पीछे 1,000 questions will be there. Where were you? What were you doing? What is this, mama? So, and my patients, of course, because 9 months I've taken care of them, and at the last time delivery time I'm not there, so they get upset. So I have to handle everything. So it becomes really difficult, but still I somehow manage to get some time off. And since as I stated so many times already that I stay in Ratnagiri, so I have many multiple
have the
choices to go around, around
Correct.
my place for at least 4 hours. Also, if I take out, then that is also fine with me, because it's like abundant nature outside anywhere. So there are definitely challenges. Photography, I would just love to pursue my photography, but I cannot because of my hospital. There are always some patients. When there is a waiting patient to be delivered, I cannot go, and this happens every day. So hardly there is. Right now, also I have a patient at 1:30. I have planned a cesarean section. So it is really not easy.
Yes,
It's just
I know,
okay,
I-
but not easy to do.
correct.
Yeah, particularly for a gynecologist, it's really tough.
Yes,
It's a very
tough.
demanding branch.
Very demanding, very stressful
Yeah.
branch. But it
Yeah.
is only because of nature, and I'm sane still. Otherwise, I would have gone insane by now.
That's great. Yeah.
True,
Yes,
true.
Anjali ma'am, how about you? How are you?
Yeah. Yeah. The same things, I would agree very much with Chitra and Sumedha. See, there can be many kinds of diversions or, relieving stress. You can go for a movie, you can go, as we were saying, to a mall or five-star hotel, and you can relax and enjoy, so to speak, is the current thing. But if you really take out time to go out there in the nature and be there for at least some time, then you realize there is this, what you can say, calmness you achieve after all these activities in nature that is not possible to attain just by purchasing things or seeing a movie. I'm not saying those are not important in life, but then there's something that gives you that extra something, that also that you don't know many things. So there is always something to explore further and learn about life after all these experiences. That is something that I really admire.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Aarti.
I think what we would like to know is, do you have any message for your, fellow doctors, lady doctors, that you would like to give regarding, being out in nature? Also, have you tried to, expose other lady doctors from your fraternity to this whole nature scenario? Like, have you ever tried taking anybody along, or have you tried to encourage or inculcate liking, for this?
Yeah. That I must say, we always try as far as possible. We try that. There have been colleagues who got interested, and once they realize you can't tell everything, they have to come out there with you and realize themselves that how these things actually keep you grounded. That is very important thing in our profession. That all the time where we know so much, but actually so little. So that is something really an indescribable quality of this. So yes, we have tried. I'm sure Chitra would also agree.
Yeah, definitely. And I would like to share one thing that we have a group of school friends. I'm from Nasik basically, and we have met a group of school friends, and most of my school friends are interested in gardening. And actually, I got inspired by them. So I started trying my hands on it. And currently, I have attended quite a few webinars and quite a few workshops on terrace gardening, as well as kitchen gardening, gardening in your balcony, so that you don't have to go out and you don't have to take much time. So I would definitely like to share with my other colleagues also that this can be done at home also. And it really gives it gives you a lot of satisfaction when you do that, and you don't have to take much time for that also. You can easily do it in day-to-day practice. You can use your kitchen waste. That's the best part. Currently, I'm after composting using the kitchen waste. That is my current interest.
Correct.
And one of my friends has really done a lot of work on that. So she keeps guiding us, and and we keep sharing our experiences every day in about our balcony and terrace gardens
Okay.
on WhatsApp. Thanks to WhatsApp for that.
Yeah. What about you, Sumedha ma'am? Have you?
Same here, same here. I have tried to inspire as many, whoever I meet, I try to inspire them about this gardening and nature and everything. But other than me inspiring people, people have inspired me a lot. Many other people have inspired me a lot. And that I can, as Madam said right now, composting, I have been doing composting since last 1 year now. I don't know how many compost I have made. And it's such a satisfying experience. We call it Kala Sona. It really, Kala Sona.
True, correct.
Right.
Seriously, I have 50 kilo तरी मी बनवलं असेल ना compost.
Okay.
I have got many huge trees in my compound na. So all the leaves and everything that goes directly into the compost. So all my garden is on my compost now. No other fertilizer I use for my garden.
That's great.
Right now I'm
That's really great. Yeah.
I would just share one thing. Yesterday there was 2 workshops which I told you I attended.
Yes.
1:30 to 4:30 and 6 to 9. This was actually regarding this gardening.
Oh.
And Mr. Subhash Palekar, he shares all his, this is SPNF group, and he shares all his experiences of gardening. And he is very good at that. He is a doctor, agricultural doctor must be. I didn't know much about him, but I just happened to get the link, and I attended those workshops, and it has inspired me still
Chitra,
more.
please send his details. Please send his details.
Sorry?
Please share.
Chitra, please send his details.
Yes, sure. I will.
Yeah.
And he uses only biofertilizers. He generally uses what is called as cow dung and gomutra cow dung for composting.
Oh.
And he doesn't use any chemical fertilizer. And he the best part is he doesn't take a single pile, and he conducts many webinars on his webinars as well as workshops, and he downloads that on YouTube, so anybody can see those anytime.
Okay.
So it's wonderful job he's doing. It's really creditable. So
It's
that's why
absolutely,
I
yeah.
attended those. And for your information, I'm just telling you that on 1st of August and 2nd of August, he's going to have regarding terrace gardening.
Oh,
Okay, I will attend it for
Great,
sure.
great.
Yeah, I'll
Great.
send the
We will
link to
attend
you.
it.
It's for 6 hours.
Please
It's for
send.
6 hours.
Great.
And please share the link with us. Huh?
Sure, definitely. I'll share it with you.
it's actually, the need of the hour right now for all of us, especially women. We take this up, and if the mothers do this, then the children automatically follow, is what we have noticed. Because the children look up to their mothers, and that's our whole idea behind Jungle Bells, is to introduce more and more women to conservation, and to raise awareness basically about nature, so that it can be passed down to the children, and we can all protect what we have right now. Thank you so much for your time, all of you. We have another doctor actually, Dr. Manisha Sonawane, and Himangi is going to talk about her. She's going to give us a short talk about what she does.
Thank you, Aarti.
Aarti, I want to say one thing. One very
Yes.
small, 2 minutes only I'll take.
Yeah, sure.
Since we are talking about nature and conservation of nature, I would just like to say that everybody should use a menstrual cup. It goes a long way in conserving the nature.
Okay.
Being a gynecologist, I think
Yeah.
I would like to give this message to everyone who is listening there. I am myself using it since last 4 to 5 years, very satisfactory results, and I promote it to everyone whoever comes my way. But I would like to use this platform to tell all the girls out there, their children, your daughters and your friends, everyone, please go ahead and use menstrual cup. It's the best thing to use, so that you're doing your bit to conserve the nature.
Yeah, that's a very good message.
On a very small
Shweta.
personal level, I'm saying this. I don't
Yeah,
get
no,
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sumedha.
Thank you. So, as Aarti said, we have Dr. Manisha Sonawane with us, who she works for the homeless and the less fortunate. She has an incredible experience, and she's given her life to something that she would like to share right now with us. So, I can request Manisha ma'am to unmute and turn her video on.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome.
All of you. I hear very nice experience, all of you, about the nature, but something little bit different I want to share it with you about my work.
Manisha ma'am, can you just turn your video on? You would like to say?
Yes, yes. Good morning,
Thank
all
you.
of you.
Yes.
I hear very nice experience from all of you people about the nature, and your experience regarding the nature, work with the nature, about the gardening and all that thing. But my experience is a little bit different. What I am working, what our trust is working, I will just in short, I will tell you.
Sure.
Ma'am, could you please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aarti, her presentation.
Yeah, just give me 1 minute.
Yeah. I'm Dr. Manisha Sonawane, working with my husband as a doctor for beggars. We have small trust, Soham Trust, a registered trust. Through this trust, we are providing medical services to all the beggars on the road, around the religious places where they are sitting outside the temples, as we know that. We are giving medical services to them, and our main motto is that by giving medical services and counseling them, to rehabilitate them. We want to rehabilitate them. We want to give a proper place in the society. As we know that no one will accept them in the society without giving up begging. So we are counseling them, leave the begging and do something. We are providing them small scale business like selling of vegetables, selling of fruits, selling of coconut, either selling of oil. As they are sitting outside the temples and begging, we are asking them, do small work outside the temple only, sit outside the temple and sell small things. We are providing them small scale business and ask them to get own self-reliant on their own stand only. Around 101 beggars have started their own small scale business. So around 101 families are become self-reliant. They are living as a citizen, not as a beggar. So we feel proud about that very much. The second project of our, we are giving medical services them with that on the like OPD levels only. But when we need that, they want to do cataract operation, either prosthetic limb, either any type of major operative, we admitted them in the hospital and we are providing all the things whatever they need, as we want to stand them by own and want them as a self-reliant. So we hospitalize them. Our other project is education. Through this project, we are motivating the children for education, the begging children who are begging outside the temples. Our trust, Soham Trust, has taken the responsibility of educating around 60 children. At least our objective is that the next generation should not beg. They should learn something and they should stand their own in the society only. Ma'am, next please. We are treating on the road only, me and my husband, Dr. Abhijit Sonone. Our other project is Learn Yoga. As we know that for the inculcating of their nature and the begging trade, we want to come out them from the physical and mental alignments, and for that we are taking the yoga sessions on the road only. For that we want to give them physical and mental health through the yoga. We are providing the services around the religious places. We are giving what they want. In the lockdown period, we provide them food also by the Annapurna project, again grain. We are teaching them yoga on the road only itself. In the pandemic situation, as we know that the need of our is blood. So we have 1100 beggars registered with our NGO. So on the road only we did the blood test and motivated 350 beggars to do the blood donation, and started this project with the Janakalyan Raktapedi. Around 50 lives through the blood donation could save. So we feel proud about that also. Those who are living and verge of death on the road only, street only, we are giving shelter them in the old age homes, either centers in the government, by government of Maharashtra. We have started our new project, Kharata Paltan, cleanliness through the beggars, inspired by the idea Santa Gadge Baba to get some work in the hands of this weaker section. We started Kharata Paltan. We are cleaning the areas through this team. We have 3 teams of 18 beggars, and in the different areas of Pune, we are cleaning all these areas from them. And we are giving some benefit to them for that. Our main motto is that Bhikshe kari to Kashtakari and Kashtakari to Gaokari. We want that they should do something, they should rehabilitate their own with our help, with the help of each and everyone, all of you. And they should stand their own, and they should get as a citizen, as a proper citizen, they should get all the facilities of as a citizen. We want to make free all over the Pune, all over the Maharashtra, beggar free. Our work is going on like this.
It's really, really inspiring, ma'am. I think this is a small video you had shared of the yoga activity. It is so...
Hasi yoga session.
Yeah.
Which we are taking on the road only. And they are happily doing this. They are asking, Madam, तुम्ही कधी येणार आहे पुढचं सेशन? I am so much happy की आताच्या क्षणाला आपल्याला माहिती आहे की योग करणं किती गरजेचं आहे. So in the COVID situation, we conducted the yoga related to the lungs for the immunity power, and did pranayama on them, and I am very much happy. No one beggar got the infection of COVID. Those 1100 beggars are registered with us, but no one have got the infection of COVID-19.
That's wonderful. It's very heartening to see the participation, that there are so many people who are willing to participate in all these.
Around 200 people, on the International Yoga Day,
Wow.
200 beggars participated and they are doing happily the yoga session.
That is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing. So it's a NGO, the trust that you are running. So
Soham Trust is our trust, small NGO registered with the ATG certificate registered to the Government of India.
okay. If you can share your details with us, we will definitely spread the word.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Manisha. Yeah, so
Thank you very much to all you wonderful ladies for coming on our platform. And I would like to ask Sanjay Deshpande of Sanjeevani Developers, who is our supporter and mentor, to give the vote of thanks.
Hi, everybody. It was so heartening. First of all, I congratulate Jungle Bell, Aarti and Emangi. I don't support you. I just, you can say, a part of the team. And such a noble work. It's not about just Doctor's Day. It's the way you conduct all the things and for the nature. And this is a forgotten part. And it's really nice of you calling Dr. Manisha Sonone also on this platform on the honor of Doctor's Day coming ahead. चित्रा ताईंना मी चित्रा ताईच म्हणतो, सुमेधा माझी बहीणच आहे. सुमेधा मी चॅट मध्ये लिहिलं होतं की तो लेपर्ड पण म्हणाला की बरं झालं बंप नाही झालं सुमेधावर, धरून नेला असता तिने मला घरी याच्यावरती. आणि केळकर मॅडम, इट्स रिअली सी इट्स दो जंगल बेल इज मोर फॉर वाईल्ड लाईफ कन्झर्वेशन. It's not, see, wildlife is just one aspect like gynecology or pathology or hermetology, whatever you say, hematology is part of medical science. So we speak about jungle bell in totality about nature. So all these are ultimately different branches. See, wildlife or birding or whatever it may be, habitat protection and all those things. Ultimately, if you conserve the nature, automatically, as Megha said, it is going to take care of itself of all these branches. And specifically with Dr. Manisha also, see, in a way, she is also doing a nature conservation. Otherwise, all those people who are helpless, they are indirectly going to damage nature in some way if you don't take care of that. Yeah. See, so all of you are doing such a wonderful job, and please do spread the message. As we all know, medical science is obviously a tough thing, honorable and noble profession. Along with that, if you can add on the way you guys are doing something different for nature, and that's why the apt title for it, nurturing life and nature along. So if your profession spread this word, I think hope is still alive. And as all doctors says, की आम्ही आमचे प्रयत्न केले, बाकी सगळं देवाच्या हातात. तसंच आय विल से की इथे देवाच्या हातात नाही, आपल्याच हातात आहे सगळ्यांच्या. अँड तुम्ही ऑलरेडी हात लावलेला आहे. Jungle Bell and all you guys, my all best wishes, and I'm more than happy to assist on all these fronts is all I can say on behalf of not only just Sanjeevani and Jungle Bell but entire those who do something, you want to do something for nature. आणि मगाशी हेमांगी म्हटलं जसं 100 कारण असतात का नाही केली एखादी गोष्ट, पण तुम्ही चौघींनी या प्लॅटफॉर्मवर येऊन दाखवून दिलाय की 100 पैकी कुठलेही कारण जर तुमची इच्छा प्रबळ असेल तर टिकू शकत नाही समोर. यू कॅन डेफिनेटली डू इट. अँड माय ऑल बेस्ट विशेस टू यू ऑन द बिहाफ ऑफ डॉक्टर डेस इन ऍडव्हान्स अँड फॉर युअर नेचर पाथ. मेधा तुझी विश लिस्ट पूर्ण होऊ दे आणि तुमच्या सगळ्यांच्या विश लिस्ट पूर्ण होऊ देत डेफिनेटली. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.